Hello, everyone.
Oh my god.
Oh, did it start?
So sorry.
No.
Okay. And
Hey, everyone. This is Christian with Scab, a new segment, TBD name. I'm still not sure about the name. I'm sitting here with Israel Arcade. Thanks for coming. I know you guys.
Israel Arcade.
Thanks so much for coming all the way from Indio. It's Indio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like Coachella, Indio, and San Diego, both making really long drives a day in the extreme heat. This is why it's great being the interviewee, because you came to my house. I just really appreciate it, though, and I'm really looking forward to this interview. Thanks for coming down. How you guys feeling today?
Thank you so much for having us. I'm really excited.
I feel great. I'm really excited.
Yeah, you guys ready to put on your ASMR podcast voice?
I'm ready. I hope that sounds right.
My girlfriend loves those TikToks where they're like, this is the new makeup I got.
Me too.
And they're like clapping.
I like the tappers.
Freaks me out.
Yeah.
I like shaving ASMR.
Ooh, the
Shaving?
Like really, like
I've never
guys
seen
with
that.
like really huge beards, and they just like
Yeah.
trim it and then
Just
they shave
cut
it off. I love it.
that shit
I
too.
love it.
Yeah.
I also like leather ASMR.
Really? What's leather ASMR?
Yeah, what's that?
mean? That sounds sexual.
It kind of is. It like low key is.
I feel like all ASMR is really sexual.
Yeah.
What's leather ASMR mean?
It's like there's this dude, huh?
Are they rubbing leather?
Yeah. Like there's a dude who I watch on YouTube who
You on YouTube? You took it off TikTok?
You sounded ashamed of that, or you lied?
he has like you lied. He has like 40 subscribers, and he like tries on different like leather boots or like different leather pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like just like puts on the boots and then he like rubs them, and he like puts like oil on them and shit.
That
Fuck!
sounds
I shouldn't have had that Modelo.
That sounds like such an Israel thing to watch. The last time I saw you performing, both together at the observatory with Provoker, it was so funny because I came later, and you guys were nice enough to get me on the list. And I'm coming in later though, and I'm walking in the room, and it's already super packed. And then I see Israel on stage, and I make direct eye contact.
Yeah. We were on stage already, right?
Yeah, you were playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the crowd, so we got added to that show like 2 weeks before.
Really?
Like it was already about to sell out. Like
That's
it was just like
crazy.
50 tickets left, and then they put us on.
That's wild.
And then Christian walks in, like I think we're like a song or two in, and
Yeah.
Christian's like at the entrance, like he hadn't fully come in, and he's just like staring at me like that. I'm just like, fuck, dude, I don't know. It made me kind of nervous.
I'm glad I make you comfortable.
Yeah.
you're like, I'm literally surrounded by a sold out show, and you walked in, and I lost my
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Because I was mewing.
Yeah, exactly. You did that. That's it.
And I mean, a big thing that's still an announcement is Joseph here joining the band. How's that been? You joined right when the tour you recently did. You were on that tour, right?
Yeah, I was on that tour.
I remember just pumping you up, texting you that's
Yeah,
awesome,
I was stoked.
dude.
I was very excited. Yeah.
So you were just with it, and then you immediately got on tour, which is crazy.
Yeah. I had already been playing back in the day, like 2022.
Yeah.
We did like 3 shows, I think, like at Smell, and then a show out in Coachella. And then I stopped playing with them, did a couple other projects, and just went back full force. It was really exciting. I was very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Tour was great. Yeah.
This is the microphone situation right here.
You refused to
There,
Oh.
I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, he had filled in on 3 different. You filled in on bass
Yeah.
at one
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
On guitar, on synth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when
And
we
DJ.
when we played what?
And TJ.
In TJ
Yeah.
in Tijuana, yeah, we played in Tijuana.
Oh,
and
that was the one with Beach Fossils, right?
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah,
That's crazy, dude.
yeah, that was crazy.
What a cool place to do it too. If
Yeah.
if you're gonna ever
Yeah.
play with Beach Fossils, the fact that it's in down there,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
You know what's crazy too is that venue was like a Roman Colosseum type of venue.
Oh,
like
shit.
the venue itself it looked like it had been burnt down or something, but
Yeah.
it was open air, and It was very, very pretty.
Cool.
And I think we had like the 4 or 5 p.m. slot, like the opening slot. And it was a trip because that whole venue was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it, but it's
That sounds so cool.
it's crazy. Yeah, walking.
It had
through
that like historic, like it's been there for centuries.
Yeah,
look.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yes.
What a
Yeah.
place to make a mark in such an iconic show.
It's great.
How big was that? Like crowd size?
Honestly, it wasn't huge. Like I was expecting more. It was probably like maybe like 700 to 1,000 people, I think.
That's still a lot. You were making it.
Well, it's
gonna be
beach.
like 300
It was
people.
beach fossils,
Yeah.
beach goons, turnover.
That is crazy, lineup,
You know?
dude. That sounds like just a random playlist. Like if someone
Yeah.
just likes
Yeah.
all these bands and it would never be
Yeah.
together, and yet
Right.
it was.
There was also Margaritas Podridas. This one band from TJ that's great.
Oh, Bucket de Cometas.
Parque de Cometas. Yep. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of those really cool acts, but yeah, it's a really cool show.
That was really cool. How was the tour though? Like all in all, like was there anything that like came up, or like did you get by for every city you went to?
It was awesome, dude. Honestly, it was the first time. It was our first tour.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was
wild. How does
yeah.
it feel like it's just an overall thing? Is first tour for Israel?
Yeah, and it was like a headlining tour, which was
That is crazy.
it was pretty crazy. But it was it was definitely humbling at some moments. There was some high moments, you know, like our first tour date was in Tucson,
Yeah,
and like 10 people had bought tickets.
dude, Tucson's hard.
It is. But yeah, so we got there, and I was kind of like, you know, like when you're about to like go on a flight,
Yeah,
you're like on travel mode, like you're cozy, you're in like your, you know, your sweats or whatever, and
yeah.
you know, your body's kind of ready to travel.
The edibles kicked in.
The edibles kicked in, the ketamine kicks in. We've all been there.
Just on Southwest Airlines taking like peyote.
And yeah, so my brain was kind of like in travel mode, and like once we got to the venue, I realized I had to be in like performing mode, and I don't know, I just wasn't like, it was hard to make that like switch.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was weird, and then we get there, I found out we only sold like 10 tickets, so I literally went to the front of the venue, and I started like telling people that I was like, there's a band that's traveling, they're on tour right now, they're a rock band. I'm like, do you like the Strokes? Do you like the Arctic Monkeys?
Oh
Even
my
though we don't
God.
really sound like them.
What a
And I was like,
hustler.
there's a bar in there, like come get a drink.
Yeah.
And
I respect that.
we ended up getting like 40 people to get in there, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
I fucking respect that. I
Yeah.
mean, as a promoter, there's so many bands that would rather just, complain, which at the end of the day, you have a right to, that there's no one here. But the fact that you're just like, I'm going to make this fucking happen,
Yeah.
like, so much respect to that.
I think it was partly my fault or our team's fault because we didn't promote that date specifically enough. You know what I
You
mean?
know, it's hard on tours because you have here you have 10 dates
Mhm.
and you're supposed to promote all of them.
Yeah.
But each day is also one day apart.
Right.
So it's like, how are you going to promote all of that? That's
Yeah.
always been like a struggle.
Yeah, so that was humbling, and then the next day we played in Phoenix, and that was like almost sold out,
Dude,
which was
Phoenix seems to be like just to go to. If you're gonna go to Arizona, just go to Phoenix for that.
definitely. Yeah, Phoenix is really cool. I have a lot of family there, and
Oh,
they all came out, and they're all crazy. Like they're all crazy, dude. Like they're
They're all
so
crazy.
fun.
That was so much fun.
That was a blast.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that
then
was a
after
really
that
good
we
show.
went to Vegas, and that was a blast. That was an experience on its own.
Yeah.
It was I mean,
What's it
shout
like
out.
doing a show in Vegas?
Yeah, shout out to the Vegas homies and all those bands that we played with. But it was I didn't really know that it was like a backyard show,
Oh, really?
and the cops ended up showing up.
That was a front yard.
Huh?
That was a front yard.
I thought it was a front yard. Yeah, nobody told me. I was pissed about it, dude. I was like, what the fuck? The cops ended up showing up, and then
Yeah.
I just hadn't had that happen in like years, honestly.
You would
like,
think they would have better things to do in Vegas. Like, there's so much partying and shit
Yeah.
going on.
Right.
It's a
They're
great
like,
point, yeah.
let me
Yeah.
stop this backyard show.
Yeah, the crowd was cool though. The crowd was cool for the most part. There was one dude who was like, he just showed up to like get into the mosh pit, but like he wanted to fuck everybody up. Like,
Dude, I
Yeah.
hate those
dude,
people.
and he ended up. I didn't see this, but I think you saw it.
Yeah, my sister saw it.
Yeah.
That he ended up like punched some girl in the mosh pit,
Oh god.
and then went to our merch table and flipped our fucking merch table, and then just dipped after that.
Dude.
Yeah.
There's some people that just show up to shows to fucking wreak havoc in the fucking mosh, steal shit, or smoke out of a balloon. And I think all of it's
honestly that's
silly.
some backyard show shit, because I remember when I was like 15, 16 going to backyard shows. Like my first backyard like punk show I went to, I was 15, is in Baldwin Park, and there was a shit ton of just like cholos that pulled up to get into the mosh pit just to like get anger out and just to like fuck people up.
Really?
It was wild.
Wow.
So
Seek therapy.
please.
It's never too late.
Yeah, that shit was wild. But I mean, overall, Sacramento, we almost got killed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you do? It was your fault, right?
Dude, it was like
That is our
5 minutes into being settled in Sacramento.
Yeah.
We had just finished getting all of our stuff out of the van. We were like pretty hungry. We had driven like 10 hours. We got out of the parking lot, and immediately afterwards we saw this. How would you say, like this?
He looked like a normal white guy. You could tell he worked out. He was like in his mid-20s.
How white? Like me white? Or like...
No, whiter. White, like,
white.
yeah, like,
That's
like he looked like his name was like
scary white.
Trevor.
Dang.
Yeah, GTA Trevor.
There's a scary level of white.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's up there.
Yeah.
Like basketball jersey, comes up to us, and he asked you. He said, "What kind of car do you drive?
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive?"
It's a normal
And
question. to
What did
just
you say?
ask
You
first.
said.
I said, don't worry about it. That's none of your business.
Yeah, there you go. Don't
Good.
worry about it. He just said, "Oh, okay, it's none of my business." Got it. Okay. And then he lifted up his shirt, and in that moment,
He kept repeating.
he said, "It's a free country, though, right? It's a free country, though."
He pulled out a metal baton. He
Yeah.
goes. He like fucking like breaks it
Mortal
open.
Kombat.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Just like-
And then there was a button on it that
What the
sounded like
fuck?
a zap.
Like
like
What?
that shit. Like that's like a lightsaber or something.
Yeah.
And then it had like a knife on the tip of it.
Oh my
And he started charging at us, just repeating, "It's a free country, right?"
What?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, like, we had just traveled 10 hours. I'm in my Crocs, not even sports mode. I'm fucking, what is it called? Comfy mode or some shit?
Comfort
Oh,
food.
Comfort mode. Like, and then, like, the guys are in sweatpants and
We
PJs.
were just chilling.
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
just
So
having
I'm
fun.
like,
Yeah.
dude, and we hadn't performed yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not trying to fucking go on stage. We still have a couple more dates. I'm
Yeah.
trying to go on stage with fucking black eyes, bleeding, something could have gone wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there was 5 of us. If he didn't have that weapon, we could have easily fucked him up. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he started charging at us, fucking waving that thing.
Whoa.
And I just told the guys, run. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Literally, it was just, he pulled it out, and all we heard was, "Run."
Yeah.
And we just walked fucking the opposite direction. It was terrifying, though.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
This guy
so
was very
intense.
scary.
Right?
It was.
We Uber Eats some pizza that night.
Wow.
Dude, and even like the Uber Eats guy, like he was pulling the pizza out of his trunk.
Yeah.
And like when he was pulling it out, like I felt like we were doing like a drug deal or something. Like
So shady.
he was like, "Here you go, bro." It's like that.
Yeah.
He's like, take your pizza. He's like, it's a free country, right?
Like you could tell like he was scared too.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then next to us there was a theater.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
There was a movie theater, like an old movie theater, and they were playing it was like a Star Wars like almost like porn parody.
Yeah.
It was like Star Wars or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like a porn parody.
Dude,
I feel
clever
like-
title.
And it was so wild. There was like a huge line, like
Yeah.
people waiting to get in, all like couples in their 40s that were like they didn't speak English at all. They were all just like Mexican, like tios and tias.
Yeah.
I was like, what the
Yeah, they
fuck
packaged
is
it
this
up.
place, dude?
Why?
It's another fucking world out
No,
there,
this is
dude.
Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento.
Yeah. Sacramento's very, very scary.
Yeah. Why'd you guys aim for Sacramento? Just because of the venue you kind of wanted, or like, and also like what's available at the time, I imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, we sold a good amount of tickets on
Yeah.
that day. Like
That's
people,
cool.
people showed up. Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite performances.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so.
That was a
like
blast.
Cafe Colonial or Colonial Cafe. one of the
Yeah.
two, but yeah,
That was a
great.
trip too, and I remember we were sound checking, and then I think it was you. You're like, "Yo," and you just pointed up at the ceiling,
Oh.
and there was like blood splatter
Yeah, there was
What?
on the top of the fucking. It was like a white ceiling. There was blood splatter, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
"Should I ask the sound guy about this?"
Yeah,
Like-
it looked like blood was leaking through the roof of the venue, and we were like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
It looked
is
fresh.
that? Yeah,
And then I asked him, I was like, what's that?
You're like, what happened to the opener?
Shout out to Lovers Peak.
And he was like, oh, they do like horror drag events here every Wednesday,
yeah.
and that's
You're
what
like,
that was.
Dumb of me to not guess that.
Yeah, dude, that was a fucking trip. And then we were in San Francisco after that, and then we ended up in Long Beach, and that was awesome at Alex's bar. That was like, all the homies showed up.
Alex's bar, shout out, dude. That's a great
Alex
venue.
Bar's great.
It's a really fucking cool venue. It was my first time there, and I can't wait to be back. It was really cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want to get started off a little bit with the Israel's lore of the band. From what I've been like listening to in podcasts, a lot of I have the tendency to say like, "Oh, I read, but I really listened or watched." That's
I do the same thing. Like,
I
read something. I saw it on
something
TikTok.
where I saw TikTok. Or it's just even a straight meme of it. But from what I've heard, is the story started with you playing with music and dabbling at a very early age, talking like 6, 7 years old. By the point of just 8 years old, you had one kid that you actually taught guitar. Which is fucking crazy. I wasn't like self-aware of my
drums, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up.
Yeah, I play several instruments. It's kind of whatever. You were saying them?
And then from there, at 13, you met some cool music teacher named Will, and at that point, you showed him some music you've been writing, and he was really into it.
Yeah.
Can you finish that story? Because like I think it's a really cool one.
It sounds like you got it.
I have it, but I want to hear it from your words.
Yeah, so I was at this like little like music academy that I got a scholarship for, actually. Like it was like it was put together by Golden Voice.
Yeah.
And it was like you had to pay like $2,000 or something like that to be in it, or you could get a scholarship. So I auditioned and I fucking got into it for free. And it was mostly like they would do like Red Hot Chili Peppers covers and Rolling Stones covers and shit like that.
What you guys should be doing.
Exactly. Real music. And then I was like, I offered for us they put little bands together. So it's kind of like a School of Rock kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it might be cool to play one of my songs. So I played a demo of my song Wimp.
Please don't call my name. It's such a shame to play my game. I wanna say hi to a train.
Crazy you wrote that at 13.
No, that was at the time I was 14, 15.
Okay.
And he was impressed by it, and yeah, he offered to record like an album for me, and that was the first time it felt like somebody like saw me and like recognized that I had something, and that felt really cool. Like to this day, I mean, that's why I'm here today, honestly, because of that fucking moment. But anyways, we ended up recording an EP with like, I think it was 6 songs. And yeah, my mom would drop me off at his house with like a bag of burritos like every other day, and we'd just be there for like 6 hours, like during the summer.
Awesome.
And dude, like I love that guy. I have a lot of respect for him, and because he kind of just like babysat me while I was this immature kid who would be like wanting to record like post-punk and just give him my fucking I probably didn't communicate everything in like the best way, and I think that's really cool that he did that, and he put up with that. But anyways, as we were recording that, I realized I was like 15 at the time. I realized I had to put together like a live band. So I started recruiting. Like I had the most random band in the beginning, dude. Like at one point I had like a 12-year-old on bass. I had like a metal drummer on drums. I had a metal guitarist who like was obsessed with like Dimebag Darrell and Pantera. Damn. And dude, like at the end of like 12 Regrets. At the end of 12 Regrets, it ends in a 7 chord. It ends in like a pretty ass chord. He would like dive bomb and solo like after it. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like this is you should do that. That actually, but with time, I got kind of tired of playing with people who just like the closest musician to me. Yeah. So I just was like, I hit up my best friends and I was like, hey, do you want you want to play in my band? At
Did they
first,
know instruments at that point?
one of them at the time didn't, and
Yeah.
Daniel, my current drummer, he was just starting, so it was kind of,
That's wild.
yeah, it was kind of a long process, honestly, like to get to where we are now, like a little
Yeah.
bit more established, like we're locked in.
That's really cool, that story I love with that music teacher that not only told you to pursue music, was like, hey, I'm going to record this for you
Yeah.
and help you produce it.
Yeah.
I grew up loving those like classic, like older, like random mentor-mentee movies, Back to the Future,
Right.
Good Will Hunting, whatever. And that's how I'm kind of picturing a Mr. Miyagi kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is like, you need to do it like this.
Yeah.
That's
Totally, dude. I feel like to this day I use, incorporate like things that he taught me when I was that age. Like we recorded in Logic, and I still record in Logic, and like pretty much all that I do now is I learned from him,
Yeah.
Just what he was like, he like actually studied audio engineering at like USC, and he's a badass. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
I mean, something I do really like about both of you is that we can yap about music because you're both like fanboys of just like a lot of different bands.
Fuck yeah.
And I feel like that's something you don't get with several different bands. Like, yeah, they'll like this band, but the fact that like when I tell you or talk about something that's you also like, you get really enthusiastic about. I mean, like, is that something you think you'd appreciate in other bands when you hear and talk to them, that they're actually a really big fan and they listen to the scene, they listen to local bands?
Fuck yeah. I think I heard this, I can't remember where I heard this, but this is like an idea, philosophy that I have kind of subscribed to for a while, which is that all of like the greatest artists and the greatest musicians are the biggest fans of something. And I'm not saying I'm a great musician or anything like that, but like if you look at Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, he idolizes, punk legends and rock and roll legends, and they know, they're nerds about it. And I kind of find that like the higher in the ladder you go with, if you look at a band like Dive, for example, like those guys know so fucking much about so like much different types of music, and like little details about certain artists and how, this genre turned into this genre, and and I kind of find that like the lower in the ladder you go with like bands that are kind of still starting out, they kind of don't know as much yet. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, they're kind of just starting off in their like music journey. It's like, yeah, like kind of when you meet somebody that's not that into music and they're just getting it they're just getting into like indie or 80s post-punk or new wave.
They're just hitting their bedroom pop era.
Exactly. Yeah.
We were talking about earlier before you got here, just like back in the 2010s when it was like bedroom pop and emo that like ruled the scene. I'm like,
Right.
Let's go back, dude. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
a great time.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always believed that. I think it's important to be a fan. I think it's important to have admiration and respect for like the greats who have done it before you. Like I have a lot of idols and heroes,
Yeah. I was listening to this podcast recently, and some actors said it's great to be famous and then finish a performance and everyone tell you, hey, you were so great, you were awesome, just like great job, and then you're like, yeah, thank you. But he's like, when it gets to the point where you believe that, it's a huge slippery slope. I mean, you guys are getting to a point, where you can have a huge crowd, huge venue, and get off stage and do exactly that. What do you guys think about that kind of fine line of believing you're great versus getting to the point where you just go overboard?
Well, I think personally, it's kind of hard to say. Getting off like a stage like that, though, you go back to reality. You know what I mean? Like, all of us come from really humble backgrounds. We're all educators. We work in kitchens. We do a lot of things that, we're working class, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be like, we're the fucking best, because it's like, well, we go back to our normal lives after that. When we're on stage, it's a height, it's great, I think we all are very appreciative and very happy that we can actually live and experience that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when the show's over and everything's done, it's like spoken for, we're back to our normal lives. So, you know, everyone can say like, oh, you guys are great, you guys are awesome and everything, but we all have our own individual things that, you know, we deal with and we go through, and I think that kind of keeps us in a very humble state, I would say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think like for me, when, you know, we get those compliments after the shows, sometimes I feel like I kind of need it, because I, like, you know, a lot of times I kind of think so low about myself. Like, even as I'm on stage, like, it's weird, like, I'll be watching, you know, videos that somebody recorded at one of our shows, a video of me, and, like, it's me, like, performing and doing all this shit, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I remember what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of just in another place. Like, I'm, you know, having all these thoughts, thinking about, like, you know, you don't deserve to be up here. It's like a lot of imposter syndrome, you know?
Yeah. That's crazy.
And so I feel like a lot of times it kind of helps, like, to hear those compliments, you know, because it kind of,
because you're psyching yourself up,
exactly,
psyching yourself out on the stage,
exactly,
and then get off, and you're like, I don't even know if that was good, and then someone tells you otherwise. Do you guys have somewhere particular that you like to write, like a preferred like space, like nearby Jersey Mike's or especially
Jersey
Mike's? No, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up though, because we have something pretty exciting that we're going to be doing. We're going to be writing for the new album this upcoming week, over in Joshua Tree.
That's crazy. I mean, you guys just had that album. It was really awesome. So that's crazy. You guys are already writing some more stuff. I was super excited that you just mentioned that.
Yeah, we got a whole week in Joshua Tree, all of us. We're taking as much time as we possibly can to fulfill that entire week. But because I've been reading that it's going to be one of the hottest summers ever, this is going to be a very sweaty week. But I'm pretty confident.
Very sweaty album.
Yeah, very sweaty. Yes, I would say so. I would say a very sweaty album.
That's what people should expect.
Yeah. Expect sweat.
I'm super excited for that. But you guys gonna all like congregate together and just like, that's awesome.
So that'll be our first time all working collaboratively, like on music.
Are you gonna have like an Airbnb, or are you like okay? Because you're making it sound like you're just all camping in like tents in the wilderness.
Well, we don't know where we're gonna stay yet.
Yeah.
The music will tell us.
Yeah. Look, wait for the chorus, guys, so we can see if we find water.
Yeah, but that'll be really fucking cool. We're all so excited about that.
I'm excited now. Yeah. Have you guys mentioned that or announced it anywhere?
No.
This just announced just here, Scav exclusive. It's like
clickbait title. Not clickbait.
Get ready for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
In all caps, new album?
And just those thumbnails where they're just like it's just like the face of this guy's face. I love those.
That's funny.
Something
this was Arcade breaking up.
Breaking up? Killed someone? Started spreading rumors. Going back to Baby Israel days, something that I thought was really funny, I wanted to learn a little bit more about, is that you said you started off really when no one was giving you a chance as a kid, hosting your own house shows.
Yeah.
And with those, your strat was to get local bands on the bill. Your dad had music equipment ready to use, and you put yourself as like the headliner, and that way you can get involved. Very smart as a kid. I mean, what were those shows like is what I want to know though. Like, what was the vibe like? Because I think you've even mentioned like out in the high desert, people weren't as much into this.
Low desert. Don't get it twisted, brother.
You're the one holding the pen.
Not anymore, dude. Those shows were cool. Those shows were really cool. It was, I was really shy at the time. I kind of still am a little bit. But I like wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So I would promote really hard. I would always make like physical flyers, and I would always hand them out at school and put them up around town, and then obviously like on social media and shit. But they would usually pack out, and you know, they'd always have their little mosh pits and stuff like that. But I always I don't know why. I always felt like nobody liked me, and so I like just didn't talk to anybody. And so there was kind of like a disconnect there. Like I would kind of just show up and play and then like leave, you know.
Yeah.
But I wish I got to enjoy those more, you know. Yeah.
Did you like? I feel like as a kid and teenager, when you're really going through like self-reflection and you feel like your highest of insecurity, you like dream of fantasies where if I do this, people will really like me or they'll think I'm cool, whatever. Prove me on that kind of fake scale. Do you think like putting on these shows like contributed to any of that? If you're telling me like I didn't feel like people want to talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that still exists, like in one way or another, you know.
No, it does.
You know, we all kind of want to be accepted by something or just feel like validated, exactly. That's the right word. But yeah, totally. Like I wanted people to think I was cool, you know. That was a big thing that was on my mind. And
absolutely. I mean, it was smart for a kid to just be like, if someone's not gonna let me in, so I'm gonna do it.
Right.
It's kind of similar to how I met you guys, which is kind of funny.
How did we meet again?
Yeah, 2021. Let me take you back. Minor League Christmas Festival. Throughout the night, I'm waiting for you guys because you were like headlining, right? Or at least like direct support, or just like last to headline, something close.
There was like a main stage, and we headlined like the second stage. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I was waiting for you guys to go on, and then they had a bunch of balloons playing around, and then what I didn't know was Chris at the time was playing with one, and me and him were passing it back to each other.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Oh my god.
We were just bopping a balloon off the floor, and we're just passing it back together. We're like, don't let it touch the ground.
Yeah.
And we're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And we're just going back and forth.
I was a part of that too.
Oh,
it was like 5 of us, and we're like a fucking, you know, show was happening right in front of us, and we're just playing with a balloon like idiots.
That's funny.
Wow, that's crazy. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, because I was kind of having fun for a while playing with the balloon, and I was like, wait, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is serious.
You snapped out of it?
Yeah. It's like, dude, what are people gonna think of us, dude? We're being idiots right now.
And then Chris just started smashing a balloon.
Yeah.
And,
he like grabbed the balloon and started smashing somebody in the face with it.
Yeah, it was so funny. And then you guys were like, "Oh, I'm gonna head to the green room." I was like, "Why are you going there?" You're like, "Oh, we're in there." I was like, "You're in this." I was like, "Oh shit!" And like it all clicked. I thought you were way older too, or not way older, but I thought you were at least 21. I was like, "Can't buy you a drink," and then you're just like, yeah, whatever, you know, can't do that right now, you don't want to perform. I'm like, I didn't realize you were like 20 at the time or something.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say, we were all super fucked up for that show.
Yeah.
Like, we blessed the bottle before that. The song Bless the Bottle had just come out. Yeah. And we were like dancing around a fucking big ass bottle of vodka. Yeah, we were really fucked up for that show.
Speaking of Bless the Bottle, do you guys have any pre-show rituals?
The huddle up.
Yeah.
The huddle up. We always huddle up. We talk about how much we love each other before we play. I know it sounds kind of silly.
I feel like that's real. That's real, right?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Can
you
starts. Yeah, it starts with Israel being like,
wait,
guys.
Wait, I got.
Can we do it?
Can we do it right now?
I don't want. All right, fuck
it. Yeah, we start like this. It was like, all right, guys, come on.
We're getting on.
But we start going like this. No, we actually don't do that.
It's like a football game, yeah.
It's gotta be fun.
And then we just talk about things that we're really proud of, whether it becomes about each other or ourselves, and you know, we just communicate that we love each other very much, and we're gonna do a really good job.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
Yeah. And then we say a prayer.
Yeah.
Say a prayer.
Yeah.
Say a prayer. Try it.
Hey, say a prayer.
Saint Mother.
No, in Latin.
Okay. Bonjour.
So that's basically how we do it every single time.
For a moment, I got to pretend I was in Israel Arcade. That was nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, I forgot. I wanted to finish the story. There's more to that. So we played the balloon. I realized you guys are Israel Arcade. And then from there, after that, I started pestering you more because I was like, I want you to play a house show at my house.
You didn't have Scab at the time.
I didn't have Scab at the time.
Yeah.
I was just doing like a few house shows here. It was just under the Manor. I just started.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I just started a Paid for Scab, but I was just like, that's whatever. The Manor is like
Right.
what I want because I'm just gonna host shows here. And then you're like, okay, for sure, but you know, I have to speak to my manager and we'll see about it. Whatever. It was kind of fizzling out, I could tell. And
Yeah.
I told my girlfriend like, hey, Israel's playing at the Smell. We need to go down there, and I need to get him over this hump to play at the house. We go there, great performance, really cool show. I fucking fucked up my foot in the mosh though.
Nice.
Turns out it ended up being like I damaged my ligaments on my foot.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was
Hell
just,
yeah.
I
So it was a
like,
good show.
It was a solid show. But like as soon as you guys ended and it was like over, I was just like literally like hopping, like trying not to put pressure on it because it was like hurting so bad. I was just like, let's go home. Your foot's fucked up. And I was like, no, I see Israel. And I see Israel.
Oh my god.
I
You
s-
disregarded your pain just so that you could pitch your show to me.
And you were in this enclosed circle of this like entourage of people.
Yeah.
But anyway, they talked your ear off a bit, and I was just like, let's just do the show. And I was like, I'll send you like the details of who I have after.
Right.
And you're like, okay, for sure. And I
Was
sent
that
you
the show we did after?
That was the show.
Here?
Yeah, that was a show here.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So that's and then yeah, you did the show here. It was a great lineup.
That was a great lineup. Yeah,
And,
I
yeah,
think I think that's why I agreed to it. I was like, oh, these guys are on. Like, this is fucking awesome. Because you hadn't done that many shows at the time.
Yeah, no, not
So I
at
was
all.
like-
So it's like I could have been like wishy-washy
Yeah.
or just like whatever, which I totally understood. But that's exactly why I'd go and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great because when you did the house show, that was when you also were there. You showed up, and that's how I met you.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
same time they did that house show.
Yeah.
It was funny because we
Yeah.
were like
You
making like,
surprised us, I remember.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
yeah,
that's funny.
that was so nice, and I thought like this guy's a really nice guy. You should be in Israel Arcade. Imagine.
Could you imagine that? You manifested it.
One question I do have, a little bit of a thinker, but there's a lot of lyrics that some people may recognize in Israel Arcade songs that could be about like love, relationships, or even coming of age. I mean, you wrote them a lot when you're younger. But I was wondering if there's any lyrics that are out of pocket reference, like people want to guess, like, hey, this is in relation to the first balloon I had.
First balloon.
Everyone had a first balloon, right?
I mean, dude, like the second song I wrote, or the second song I put out, which was Wimp, that song is straight up like a suicide song.
Is it?
Yeah, it's straight up just about.
I wonder I love it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of songs that are like about, drugs. I have like a past history with drug addiction and like alcohol abuse when I was younger. So there's a lot of that. There's like my song "Hacker" is like kind of about like disassociating. Like that's pretty much what it's about. Like,
Yeah.
which I think is a result from being a little fried from my past like drug use.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I ask, how did you come out of that? Like, I know it's like a really deep question, and if it's too personal, you don't have to
No,
say.
I don't mind.
Okay.
It's been a while. I mean, dude, like when I was 15, that's when it started.
Yeah.
Like I was a full like alcoholic at the age of like 15, 16. Like I would bring a whole water bottle of vodka to school with me every single day. And I would just be drunk all day, and I'd get home from school, and I'd knock out, and then wake up the next morning and do it all over again.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, and then I was, I picked up like drugs along the way too, and then I just remember one day, I was on the bus going home from school, and I remember thinking like, I have so many dreams and so many ambitions and so many things I want to do and accomplish with my music, like these things that I'm doing are only like pulling me back, you know what I mean? They're like pushing me in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like I want to do all these things, and I should have been further along. And it was literally in that moment on the fucking bus that I told myself I'm done. And I was sober from everything for like a year after that. I became vegan. I shaved my head.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was hard, man. Honestly, it was hard, but then again, it wasn't hard because like I was like buying like a like cocaine every week, like a lot of cocaine every week. But I was like 16, and so I would always have to do shady shit to get money in order to buy it.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like 10 steps that I had to do in order to get it. So to quit, it was just like I could just not do those 10 steps. You know what I mean? Because it was so difficult.
There's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But at that point, it probably just felt worth it, right? Just like
dude, I feel like I was drunk for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, so getting out of that, like I felt like I had to relearn a lot of things. Like I had to relearn how to talk to people sober. Like I didn't know what it was like to just be without alcohol. You know what I mean? Like I remember my first day, like not drinking. I was like, what should I do? You know, like I just really didn't know what to do. You know,
like what do sober kids do?
Yeah. And yeah, like I honestly, I feel like as of the past, like last year, I've really kind of come into my own, and I'm better at talking to people now, and I just kind of know who I am a little bit more now, you know. But I feel like it definitely took a while
More
after
comfortable
that.
in your own skin.
Exactly, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Finding in sobriety at a young age like that, like, what did you fall into, like, an interest and hobbies at that point?
Well,
was it other interests?
It was I kind of replaced that for like I'm just kind of an intense person generally, so I quit that. I became really strictly vegan, and I would eat like I would eat the same like tiny meals every day, and I would exercise a lot. Like I would like every single day I would hop on the treadmill and like burn like over 1,000 calories.
Oh.
And I got really into school. Like I got like on honor roll like right after I like got off drugs. I went from having all F's to like my grades just got really good.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but it wasn't healthy. It needed to happen, but it wasn't healthy because it was just intense. Like while I was on the treadmill, like I remember I would always like feed myself, you know, these ideas of like, you know, like I'd tell myself, keep running, fat ass. That's what I used to fucking tell myself.
Yeah, just demean yourself to keep going and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, especially as a kid, it's probably easiest to replace an addiction with another. As you grew further past that, you're able to replace it with like a healthier like lifestyle with a little more balance and everything.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome to hear that. Something I did want to ask about back as far as like the album goes. I mean, Live Your Fantasy is really great. I mean, how did it feel putting out like the album and actually playing it versus just like coming from like, you know, you guys usually play a lot of your singles and EPs that you're known for, but then you're actually able to play a full album live. Like, does that feel like really great? And
I think it's definitely more exciting. Being able to play some songs that people haven't really heard, or like debuting those kind of songs, also mixing up the set list. I think that's probably the most exciting part about transitioning from solely doing like singles and then revolving and switching those around to like, you know, adding 5 or 6 new songs to a set list and like changing it up like every so often. It definitely helped a lot with the creativity process, and I think it's going to be really helpful like when we think back to it with this new project that we're going forward with. So
super excited.
Yeah.
You guys gonna have some maybe previews of your next couple of shows or your tour with Make Out Reef, where you have like some new songs off like the new album early on?
Well, actually, we're releasing a single next month on the 19th.
No way.
Yeah, called She Made Eyes at Me. When is this gonna come out, do you think?
Probably in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, cool. So yeah, July 19th.
Nice.
It's a new single, and then we're still deciding if that's gonna be on the album or not. But yeah, I feel like I might drop a couple more singles this year. So.
Oh, that's really exciting.
And they're all very different from what we've done before.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of a new direction that we're going in now.
That does bring me to another question I did have. There's a lot of bands in general, but especially in this scene, where they start very young, and with that sound comes like a very like angsty sound that they're playing. Everyone's really into it. I love it, everything. But with that, inevitably the band gets older, and naturally they don't have that same like teenage angst. So they don't want to play that. They don't want to write it anymore. They just have like a different outlook, and they change or evolve into a different sound. Do you guys ever think about like self-aware of like going from your older stuff to newer stuff and how that might look, and just the evolution of that?
Definitely. Like my song 12 Regrets, I put that out when I was like 15 or something like that.
It's crazy.
So that song...
Sorry, everything you tell me that's like super talented, I just want to be like, fuck you. Such a talented person.
So I put that out when I was 15, and like now it definitely doesn't really align with like the kind of person I am now, and everybody else in the band too. Like I feel like it's, you know, sometimes it's fun to play live, especially if it's fitting for like the bill and like the crowd that we have, and you know whoever else is on that lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely don't see myself playing that song too often. Like when I'm, you know, older in my 30s or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I'll always play like songs like Car Crash and things like that.
Yeah.
But 12 Regrets was, I think it was a good place to start, and I think we might be able to just kind of leave it there, you know.
Yeah.
Unless it has like a resurgence in like 30 years and we have to play it again.
It was crazy.
It goes
viral.
Whatever version of TikTok is
right
in the 2050s.
Yeah, in the 2050s, Vine comes back.
Vine comes back.
You guys don't do a lot of covers at shows, which I really like. You have enough original content, you don't ever need to. Do you guys, though, have a favorite cover by a band you know?
I can't think of anything, but I didn't know that Benches blew up off of that Cotton Eye Joe song, and I listened to that yesterday.
Really?
Oh, really?
And that shit is so fire.
It's good, right?
Yeah, I really liked it.
LCD Sound System did a live album when they played Madison Square Garden in like 2012 or 2011. They did a cover of Harry Nilsson's "Jump Through the Fire." You ever heard that?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that.
That's a great cover.
Think of any covers right now for some reason.
It's hard to think about it.
Like you're giving me a face like I'm tuning out, trying to think.
Yeah.
There's no worries. We'll come back to it if you do. You just raise your hand.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like the Cramps. They used to cover old rockabilly songs from like the 40s, and make it like Cramp style.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And then like we played we would do one cover, which was a Cramps cover.
Really?
Called Shorten and Bread.
Oh,
and it was a cover of like some other covers that they had done from like the 40s.
Yeah.
So
that's wild. I forgot you guys have like a whole live video with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then I feel like our like rendition of that song isn't too far from like the Cramps version.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it kind of, you know, because some bands do that where they cover something and they make it totally different. Sounds like a brand new song. I feel like that song just complemented us well.
Yeah.
And it like kind of used like the assets that we already have, like saxophone and it just, I don't know, it brought like a new energy to the live performance that I thought was really cool, you know.
Especially on point with the saxophone to it. It just sounds so great.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we stopped playing it live though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, we just shouldn't do too many covers, you know. Yeah. That's something that I think this guy hates particularly is playing covers.
You guys had a music video that released not that long ago. It was super cool, and you've had some in the past before. What's your guys' perspective on like making videos and what you've been a part of in them?
Up to this point, we've made 3 or 4 music videos. We did 3 videos and 1 like visualizer. And up to this point, all of our videos have been pretty like fun, you know, especially like the car crash video.
Dude, I love the car crash video.
That one was a really fun one, which like I kind of wrote as a joke, but it ended up being actually kind of cool. And in the future I wanna explore other things. Like I think we're gonna have a music video come out in like a couple months. That it's more it's more kind of like a Strokes approach, where it's kind of just like I want people to see, Joseph just joined the band. I want people to see this is Joseph. He plays guitar. I want it to kind of
direct.
Exactly. Just more straight to the point.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're so cool. Yeah, I mean, for this part too, if you have any questions, I want you guys to be able to answer at the same time.
Cool.
Is there any wish list cities you guys have that you want to play, or even places? Doesn't have to be in America.
You go for it.
All right, cool. I have 3: Mexico City, Chicago, New York City.
Damn.
Those are like the 3. And to add on to that, a European tour would be the wish list. Yeah.
Dang, you got the pie chart filled out like
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they kind of do leave
this,
you with many
this.
options.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, you can still.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, Mexico City would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Tijuana would be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to do New York, but maybe, like, I wouldn't want to do it now. Maybe, in like a year or so, New York would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We'll probably go to Texas at the end of this year.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. And then obviously a European tour would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Is there any bands from any of those places that you guys like really want to play with?
We just had on Floats. When we're in Texas, I really want to play with Floats.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be really sick.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
I mean, in
It's really
Chicago
nice.
right now, there's a huge, like, dark wave
Like resurgence.
movement. Yeah. Which is, like, bands like,
Yeah, like French Police. Yeah, I was going to say.
Blood Club and all those guys.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That'd be really sick.
Israel has spoken about like openly about like anxiety and facing it in the scene, and just people being more like self-aware of mental health.
Yeah.
What's your guys' perspective of both like as a human having natural anxiety or even jitters, and how the way you cope with it?
It's like I can't talk about this right now.
No, this is a pretty good question. I mean, we all are very open towards one another about how we feel. I think we're all really open and expressive too. Like, I don't think anyone ever like tries to sugarcoat exactly how we feel. I think we're all pretty direct about our emotions or how we feel about certain things. And I think we're all very open to talking about it and hearing each other out on perspectives too, which I really appreciate. When it comes to talking about like mental health and things like that, I think we can all just share like, hey, I don't feel really good today. And you're just like, that's okay. You don't have to do this, I think I really appreciate that. It's really nice. It feels like a family, you know what I mean? Like
Nice.
being able to just communicate and tell each other like how we feel about certain things, or if we don't feel good about something, like we can just communicate that. And there's no judgment,
Right.
So I think that, at least from my side, my perspective, that's how I feel when it comes to like mental health between doing this, because doing the music stuff isn't really easy at all. We all, have our own personal lives on top of it, and we also have work and things that come about. So, trying to balance everything, it gets really heavy. It's really hard. So, we're really open when it comes to like talking about it between one another. So I really appreciate that.
I agree.
Well said, Israel.
Word.
Yeah.
That was a great speech. It was carried by you.
Word.
I am the songwriter.
I know like after a show or before a show, you guys gotta get grub in you. Like, is there?
You gotta get a what rub in us?
You gotta get that rub.
You gotta get rub.
You gotta get some grub in you, some food.
Oh.
Let me make sure I say it.
Yeah.
That was grub as a correction. In you.
How do you know that? Who told you?
You're Israel Arcade. We have to know.
On that note, we got you something.
I got you. Disaster. Is there somewhere that you guys always mutually agree as a band that could be like a fallback of like where you're gonna eat all together? Because I imagine a lot of times you have to like eventually just settle in one spot, especially if you're gonna be like touring or something, or when you did tour.
Both mics.
Yeah.
No, take your
I
mic.
know you can answer this one, bro.
Well, everyone's really sweet because I'm vegetarian, so they're always like, "We'll eat wherever you want to eat,"
Yeah,
which
so
is
nice.
which is really nice. Yeah, like in Salt Lake City, we went to Vertical Diner and we all ate it, and I could tell that I think Daniel and Mark were like No, it's good, bro. Like, but like low-key, it's like not
It's
that
so
good.
good.
You know?
Well,
Which
just
is
like
fine.
none of us are picky, so
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
picky.
you know.
Yeah.
So wherever he wants to go, or you know,
Why is it up about me?
So wherever he wants to go at the end of the day, wherever he wants to sleep.
It's
I
my
mean,
choice.
he'll find like a vegan restaurant that's near, and we'll just end up going to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like pizza, or something like simple.
Right.
You know, we don't overcomplicate shit. We don't eat like really
it's never
exquisite.
a problem.
Yeah.
It's never been.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah,
exquisite.
but we usually
to-
do In-N-Out or Cane's.
Yeah,
Or those are probably the top two after
Yeah.
a show.
In-N-Out's
Yeah.
for sure like a go-to. Yeah.
Both are nice because they're open just like really late.
Right.
Yeah.
That's convenient. At a certain time of the night, any place that's like, a 6 out of 10 will be at least like an 8 out of 10 because it's
Mhm.
2 in the morning. There's
Yeah.
nowhere open.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is one of the best options I could have right
Yeah.
now.
Yes,
What you guys ordering now?
I'll go.
Go.
Grilled cheese, mustard fried, grilled onions, animal style fries, no drink, just water.
Hot bother.
I recently tried like a double. I'd never tried a double
You've
before.
never double?
Dude, like for years I didn't like In-N-Out, and then I started ordering it properly,
Yeah.
and obviously now I love it. But I just go one patty, animal style.
You couldn't finish it, right?
The single
double
double?
double? Or no, you got a
No.
4x4.
I got a double, but I could finish it, but it was, I don't know, too much meat for me.
Yeah,
But most people say it's like, most people go 4x4 or fucking even more.
6x6.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've heard.
I can wreck a 3x3, be real.
Yeah, really?
No.
No, but my go-to though is fucking like a shit ton of spreads and ketchup, and I just douse it in that.
Yeah.
And then just a chili after every bite.
Ooh,
That's
Yeah.
what I
Dude,
do.
Yeah.
The chilies is a must.
Yeah.
I get chopped chilies on everything I get there.
Yeah.
I'm like, water, chopped chilies.
Yeah.
Like,
Water,
Dude,
chopped
I'm
chilies.
so hungry right now.
yeah, okay. I think with that, let's wrap up this interview and shout out anything we want to shout out upcoming and what you want people to look out for. Go ahead.
Here, you started off.
Well, we got our new single, She Made Eyes at Me, coming out July 19th. And we're all really excited about that one. It's
Yeah.
like, that one is, it feels different than any song we've
Yeah.
put out up to this point. And like, I remember when I was recording it, when I was writing it, I had this moment that I was like as I came up with the guitar line or the bass line, I was getting so excited, like as I was writing it. And that was,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to put out this song. And then we're playing Viva Pomona on July 21st. That's going to be awesome. There's a lot of great artists on that bill. And then we're doing a 3-day run with Makeout Reef in August. We're doing Tucson, Phoenix, and
New Mexico.
our first time in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Las Cruces.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We're just gonna be writing new music.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff,
Yeah.
but nothing that we can really announce quite yet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Super excited, and then you can tell me stuff off camera. Okay, thank you guys so much for
Thank you
coming.
so
Let's
much.
end this
Thank
in a huddle.
Appreciate it. Did you practice your prayer?
Yeah, thank you so much.
I just want to tell you, just like, thank you so much for having us.
No, thanks
Yeah,
for
this is really cool.
driving down, touching my sweaty butt. Jerusalem.
So close to
Okay,
your
can we
face.
do ASMR?
On 3. Yeah, no problem. Just let me know anytime. It's only like 3-hour drive.
Sure. You do
You're welcome. Hell yeah.
Thanks so
There
much,
you go.
guys.
We did
Let's
it.
get some food in, you guys.
Let's do it.
You're
Thank
so
you.
hungry.
Some rub.